You're watching Taste of Victory.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time for Booster Set X2, the first profile from this set on the channel. Pretty crazy because it feels like Booster Set 8 just came out, but luckily this format does not change up stuff too much. You know, it's still more or less the same decks from BT8. It's more of a collector set because it is an extra set after all. That's what the X2 stands for. And if you are planning to pick up singles to get ready for this deck, please consider using my TCG player affiliate link in the description below. And today we are starting with one of the main Digimon from Tamers, that is Gallantmon, known as Dukemon in the Japanese dub. Gallantmon is a mid-range deck that focuses on digivolving up traditionally or warping if you have the structured deck Guilmon, but mainly traditionally, while also being able to pull out of raising at any point to delete Digimon of certain DP thresholds to keep control of your opponent's board. It's very mid-range, able to do a lot of damage with the security, but is mostly playing a sort of slower speed of game, climbing up and deleting stuff along the way. We're going to start off by looking at our megas to get an idea of what we are building towards. First up is the new Gallantmon introduced himself in Booster Set X2. This one is 4 to digivolve into from a level 5, 12,000 DP. Your turn, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP. So he's naturally 14k if there isn't something that shuts off effects on the field. Your turn, while you have a red tamer, the maximum DP of your effects to delete Digimon increases by 2,000 DP. And then when attacking, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon with a total DP that adds up to 6,000 DP or less and delete them. With its own effect, if you have a tamer out, that makes it 8,000, which is really good to stop your opponent if you're able to climb up fast and they're sitting on a level 5. Paired with the inheritables that we are going to see as we go through the profile, this adds up to a lot and is able to delete a good number of Digimon, keep a good control on board while also allowing you to be aggressive thanks to your tamer effects. After Gallantmon, we have Megidramon, a nice one-of because he's really good in a pinch. He is 5 to digivolve into, which is quite expensive, but this card is also treated as Chaos Gallantmon. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less. If this effect does not delete a Digimon, trash 5 cards from the top of both players' deck. On deletion, you may play one Guilmon and one Takato Matsuki from your hand or trash without paying their memory cost. So this guy is really great as a one-off, and feel free to run more if you think he can fit the space because of his effect. First of all, 10,000 DP is hitting plenty of megas, but with the inheritables of the Digimon in this deck, and some of other cards, we're able to increase that from like up to 11,000 or even 12,000 in some situations. So it's really useful to emergency pop a mega to get back into the game. And then when deleted, he floats into another Guilmon and another Takato straight there. So you could even just warp back into another Gallantmon if you have the card in your hand and get right back up to a mega after this guy has done his job or was removed by your opponent. He's also naturally 13,000 DP to make up for the 5 memory threshold Digivolution cost. So it's really fantastic all around, good clutch option there as a one-off. And finally, we got Crimson mode, which is our level 7. When digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. So if they're a tie, they do all get deleted, which is really impactful if they have like a bunch of 9,000 or 11,000 DP megas out for some reason, or ultimates. When attacking, trash 1 card from the top of your opponent's security stack. Increase the number of cards trashed by this effect by 1 for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash. 10 is a very easy threshold at the very minimum to meet, so that's really cool there. Because keep in mind, all your when attacking effects, all that stuff has to finish resolving before the security check goes through. So if your opponent does have the 10 in their trash and they are at 2 security, it'll trash the 2 and you win with that swing from 2 security. So Gallantmon Crimson mode is a really good game ender, and paired with our tamer that'll give us blitz, which we'll get to later in the profile, becomes very scary to get lethal out of nowhere. So now let's start going up and see what we are building to support that strategy. First up are our eggs. We have the unbelievably adorable Gigimon. He has the inheritable when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Guilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in its name, draw 1. A lot of our deck is made up of this Digimon since it's the theme of the entire deck, so getting that draw 1 is incredibly easy, and it's really important for red because it's a color that traditionally does not have good draw power. So any that we can get is really good, especially since it's so easy to meet. And then we have Gurimon for basically the exact same reason of being an easy condition to meet draw 1 because we need that cycle. Next, similarly, keep moving on to our rookies. We will turn on stats to see how many we are running. We keep the same idea going with the X1 Biyomon. Inheritable when attacking once per turn. When this Digimon attacks a player, draw 1. So Gallantmon will be swinging at security pretty often since its deletion effects based around the DP of based around how much DP your opponent's Digimon has will be clearing their board while you are swinging, so you don't have to waste too many swings into your opponent's Digimon, so you'll be attacking face pretty often, making Biyomon life pretty often and helping you draw more. Then we have the new Guilmon introduced. This is the alt art. It's really pretty. On play, reveal it is 3 to play, 0 to digivolve into, only 1000 DP, and that is because on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, and 1 Takato Matsuki to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Guilmon is a fantastic searcher just because he gets you not only one of your Digimon, but also a Takato, which is always great to go plus in hand advantage instead of just going even with these searchers. Plus, we have so many targets for it to hit, it's very likely to go off. When attacking, once per turn, if this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So we do have a few effects that reward you for deleting an opponent's Digimon, so having that of inheritable is really great, even if it's not likely to hit too often. Being able to clear a rookie just to stop their pressure and to trigger your when opponent's Digimon are deleted effects is really good. Then we have two of the promo Guilmon. This is when attacking, trigger draw 1, and same idea as we've been mentioning. Red is just a really bricky color, so you want as much draw as you possibly can, and this is a really quick, easy to meet draw. Typically, you're not going to be swinging with a level 3 since this is a climb deck, so really you're mostly going to be swinging to get the draw off of this dude if you are bricking or if you are ahead, which is why we only run it at 2, because those situations will come up, but ideally not too much. That's why you would rather run the Biyomon instead, because you'll get the draws anyways with your inheritables and stuff like that. So Guilmon's kind of just like a worse situation band-aid. This card has been pretty expensive historically, so you could just swap it out with something else. And after that, we have the old starter deck Guilmon. This card lets you warp Digivolve into a Gallantmon for a cost of 4 if your opponent has a level 6 or higher on the field, and then it has the inheritable. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, trigger draw 1. So that's one of the effects I've been alluding to throughout the profile that rewards you for deleting your opponent's Digimon. So effects like that previous Guilmon lets you just pop something with 3000 AP is really good for getting that off. Next up are champions, which we have 11 of. First up is Agunimon, which is just a hybrid because it lets us Digivolve over a Tamer, potentially for game if they are at 0 security and we need one more swing. We have the new Growlmon introduced in X2. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. If you have a red Tamer in play, which we will prioritize in this deck, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less instead. So this is contributing to that mid-range strategy I was talking about earlier, where you can always pull out of the racing area at any moment, start swinging and delete your opponent's Digimon to keep their board under control, because 4000 DP will at least hit opposing rookies. Then it has the inheritable. When attacking, once per turn, if this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So same as that Guilmon, it's really good to have that so we can delete multiple rookies in case of rookie rush or something like that. We have the starter deck Greymon, which is security attack +1 for free unconditionally. You don't have to meet any requirements. Just gives you security attack +1. A lot of people run this at 3, and I think that's perfectly fine if you want to make room for something else. Maybe a second Agunimon is a really good argument for that. But I just really like it at 4, so I always see it, and because I do never feel bad going into it, to be more aggressive with my strategies. And then we have the Growlmon from the old starter deck. It just has an inheritable effect. Your turn, once per turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory. So that's why we are stocking up on so many effects that delete Digimon, so we get effects like these off, because that memory gain will help extend your plays and be able to make more actions per turn. We got through champions pretty quick, and we will get through ultimates even quicker. We have RizeGreymon mainly for its Digiburst 2 lets you play a Tamer for free, since Tamers are really important to this deck strategy, as you'll see when we get to them. So being able to play one out for free is pretty good, especially since at the lower level, there are some very good effects, but there's also some ones you could definitely just Digiburst away and you wouldn't mind, like some of those Guilmons. And then you have inheritable. When attacking, if you have a Tamer, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. So pair this with Megidramon, you could delete 12,000 DP Digimon with its effect that targets 10,000 DP because it's been reduced to that. So it's a really great inheritable and an amazing main body effect too. So RizeGreymon is awesome. You can feel free to cut it down for some tech choices we'll discuss. After that, we got WarGrowlmon. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less, and if you have a red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. Inheritable, your turn, the maximum DP of your effects that delete is increased by 1000 DP. So this is awesome, because this increases Megidramon's effect to 11,000 technically, and all your other effects that involve it, so it's really good inheritable. I like it a lot, which is why it's at 4. You could definitely cut down a little on this, maybe go down to 3 if you want to run some other ultimate. We've seen our Mega, so let's go ahead and move on to Tamers. Our main one is going to be the Goggle Boy himself from Tamers, Takato. Takato is only 3 to play. Your turn, when your opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory. So that is another effect similar to the Growlmon inheritable that is really important for this deck and why we want to target so many of the deletion effects, because gaining that memory is big for extending plays. Your turn, when your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Gallantmon or Growlmon in its name, it gains when Digivolving Blitz for the turn. This is really important and why we want Takato prioritize to get out, because that Blitz is huge. You could Digivolve for game and go with Blitz with Crimson mode, depending how much security they are left at. And you can similarly remove your opponent's Digimon when blitzing, swinging like that with some of the lower levels. That Blitz is really good option to have there. However, do keep in mind this is not a memory tamer, so we are running 3 other ones to make sure we are guaranteed 3 memory at the start of your turn. First up is the one of Hiro, because he is so generic. If you're level 5 or higher Digimon attack, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your Digimon get plus 2000 DP for the turn. So seeing as like your WarGrowlmon is 8000 DP naturally, this, and then you have Takato out, and then you Blitz, it's 10,000 likely to survive if you split into security, and its effect deletes something to control your opponent's board. So it's a really good synergy there, and it's just really generic. And then our other one is going to be Tai. This is all the way back in 1.0 because any of your Digimon, because all of your red Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution sources get security attack +1. This is really good since really good in this strategy since Gallantmon is a climb mid-range deck, so you're going to be going up to traditional level and have all those sources anyways. So paired with the security attack +1 and then Crimsonmon Gallantmon's effect, you're able to close games really fast if you're able to Digivolve up into the line traditionally. And it also just helps Gallantmon and and also just helps regular Gallantmon be a bigger threat as well. So these are all really good tamers to keep your strategy going and to be kind of self-fulfilling and fueling. Finally, we're nearing the end with our options. We have a Delicate Plan. This one lets you turn off security option effects so that they don't destroy you when you're swinging at security. Between this and between trashing cards with Crimson Mode's effect, you make security pretty safe for yourself, and with security control running around, it really evens up your matchup into it. Helps you a lot. So this is only a one-of because it adds itself in security, so it'll never be truly lost if you get stuck in there, so you could always add it in that way. And because it's not incredibly necessary, with Crimson Mode does a similar idea, so you could just live with one, and then like you're not always going to be fearing security in every matchup, so it's not terribly necessary. What we do have 2 copies of, however, is Judgment of the Blade. Main, one of your Digimon with Huckmon in its name or Royal Knight in its type can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon for the turn. And Gallantmon is indeed a Royal Knight. So you could play this, and then you could Digivolve with Takato out, you could Blitz and destroy something's Digimon by swinging right into them. It's really important in some matchups to be able to take out your opponent's Digimon and be able to keep pace. And then also, if you're really scared of the D Reaper matchup, this lets you swing into the Mother D Reaper, one of the few ways you can answer it. So it's a really good deck to help you keep control of your opponent's board, more contributing to that mid-range strategy and keep it into the game. And finally, we just have a consistency card, 1 red memory boost. This can easily be a Gravity Crush as well. Since it's only a one-of, I think I would prefer Gravity Crush if it's only going to be 1 copy. But the ability to search the top 4 cards of your deck is really good for consistency, and then being able to delay it later is really helpful for that extra turn extension. Really good option to add consistency to the deck. A good tech choice at the ultimate level that I've seen people running is Chimeramon. Chimeramon lets you DNA Digivolve very generically with only 2 level 4s, you know, and then you have that DP minusing effect, and then it gains all of its colors. But the cool thing is that you can put something underneath it when Digivolving level 4 or lower. So a really cool strategy would be this Greymon or Growlmon. There's a lot of good targets in this deck, which is why it's a nice tech choice in there. Not only does it let you quickly go up into a Gallantmon for cheap, it also lets you get those extra inheritables, so you get like extra security swings paired with Crimson Mode that could really put your opponent on a clock, so Chimeramon's a fun option for that. So that is going to be Gallantmon. We have quite a few cards in here. Really fun deck. Gallantmon is really cool. Tamers is my favorite season. I've rewatched it twice throughout the years, which isn't a lot compared to many people, I'm sure, but it's really fun. I think the 3 main Digimon of Tamers is some of the peak of the franchise. Right up there with the Armored Digimon of 02. This is a really cool deck because it only gets more support going into the next set, BT9 as well, since they introduced its X antibody, so it might be good to pick it up now. And again, I do have that link in the description below that supports the channel if you want to get it that way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.